Okay, this is the new 3-part skull mold. I'm working with polymer clay. I sprayed the inside with a little bit of water to act as a release, and then I just put bits of polymer clay into each section to make sure that I have enough for each part of the mold. And then once I have the exact amount of clay, I'm going to remove each one and roll it up and remove all of the cracks and lines from it before I put it back into the mold. I want it to be as smooth as I can get it so that once the mold is put together, it'll be nice and smooth. Okay, and through the magic of video, we're just going to fast forward through this part. All I'm doing is smoothing out the clay one section at a time and putting it back in so that it has no creases and bumps. And then I'm going to put it together one section at a time. This has a pore hole in it because I also use it with Flumo, the air dry ceramic clay. Alright, and so I'm just going to band the first two sections together and then add a little bit more clay here. You can see that there's like a little air spot. So I'm just going to fill it with clay and then add the last part of the mold. Okay, there's still a little bit of clay missing here, so I'm just going to put it in and press it in with the back of a paintbrush, and then it'll be fully filled. Okay, just take it apart one piece at a time, just smooth out any bumps, remove the flashing, smooth over any cracks, emphasize the indentations. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to be making ghost ornaments out of this for Halloween. Okay, and so using the back of the paintbrush, I'm just going to indent the eye cavities, widen them a little bit, and remove the flashing from the bottom. This is the pore hole, which we don't need when we're using polymer clay. Okay, so I'm just going to widen these eyes a little bit more, the eye sockets, and then put 2 nostril holes there. And I'm not sure if the teeth are going to show up, so I'm going to just emphasize the teeth a little bit. Okay, and now it's ready to go into the oven, but before I do, I want to add a hole in the head so that I can hang it as an ornament. So I'm using a wooden bamboo skewer, just putting a hole in the bottom, from the bottom to the top. I want it to be, in the center of the head. Now I've never done this before, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to hang. So instead of putting 1 hole in the head, I'm going to put 2, just in case I want it to hang more to the front or to the back. I'm not sure how it's going to hang, so I'm going to put 2 holes just to be safe. Okay, and once it has the hole, then I'm going to put it into an aluminum tray and put it in the oven and bake it according to the manufacturer's directions. And then we'll pick up the project from there. Okay, so now we're going to learn how to make the armature and the arms for the skeletal ghost doll. You're going to need 7 chenille stems like this. I'm using white ones. And 2 of them you're going to twist together at the ends, about 3 or 4 inches on the ends. You just twist them to make one long piece, and you're going to need 2 of those for the body. And then you're going to take 2 more chenille stems, and you're going to, starting at the middle, twist them together, and this is going to create the shoulder and arm sections. I'm rushing for the video. You can take your time. It's real easy. Okay. And fold it in half so that they're both even on each side. And then taking a piece of the cloth covered wire, comes on a spool like this. Okay, and you're going to fold this in half. I have a long piece, it's probably about 20 inches long. And I'm going to take the long pieces and fold them in half and fit the arm section on top, and then attach these together to create one unit with the white wire. So you can just run it back and forth and around just to secure it. And then the shorter pieces you can double over like this for about 3/4 of an inch, and that's going to create the illusion of a shoulder so that it hangs nicely. Okay, and you can wrap this a few more times just to secure that too. Okay, and now these long pieces are going to go up through the skull. Now this skull here I made, it's another one I made, and I used white polymer clay for this one. You can also use the same mold with the Flumo air dry clay. Now here you can see it needs a little neck area. It's too close to the shoulders. So you're going to take your last stem, fold it in half, and twist that to give it some strength. And then you're going to just wrap this around that wire between the skull and the shoulder piece. You're just going to be creating almost like a turtleneck piece that's going to fit in there. It's just going to hold the head away from the shoulders just by like a half of an inch. And that's going to be a better scale for the doll. Like I said, you're just wrapping it around to create some bulk here. And if you have your glue gun ready, you can just put a dab of glue to make this a little bit secure while you're working. I don't have my glue gun here and I'm on video, so I'm just going to struggle to get through the project just to finish demonstrating. Okay, so now we have the neck area. It looks a little bit better. Then you're going to twist these bottom long pieces together, and that's going to give you sort of the body. I leave mine loose at the bottom. Okay, and you can put a dab of glue at the top also. Now here's the little hands, the scary hands I made, and I'm just going to explain how I did it. I put 5 pieces of wire starting about 6 inches, about the length of a dollar bill, and I put a little dab of glue gun in the middle just to hold them all together. And I made them as a unit here. You're just going to put a little bit of clay on the palm section, and the little wires are going to be the finger bones. Okay, I'll demonstrate on this one. One of them I've already done. Now thinking about the beginners, on this one I put another little bit of glue here so that it holds them at a good distance, and it was a lot easier to do. So that's a good tip for the beginners. Then roll out just a thin pancake of clay, split it in half, and put one piece on the front of the palm and one on the back, and then you're just going to press it together. Okay, wrap a little bit around the thumb finger here and just squeeze it. This doesn't have to be perfect. They're just supposed to look like bones. Okay, and when you're done, you can pose the wires as fingers, and you're going to need to clip them down, cut them with a scissor. Okay, and then using the sculpting tool here, I'm just going to drag it down to make it look more like bones, a little bit scarier. Okay. And the same thing on the inside. Okay, and now you're going to pop those in the oven and trim down the fingers, and then you'll be ready to go. So this one I've already baked. So I just need my scissor, which I have right here now. And I'm going to just cut these apart and get rid of the part with the glue on it. And then you're just going to wrap these around the arm wires on both sides. You can also make one of these dolls and put it in the middle of a wreath and then decorate the wreath in the Halloween colors. It's a great decoration for your front door. Okay, so now the arms are on, and you can just bend them up in sort of a scary pose. Okay. And now we're ready to put the cheesecloth on. So you're just going to, here's the cheesecloth. They sell it in the supermarket, especially around Thanksgiving. It's in the roasting pan section. Anyway, you're going to cut two big long pieces that you can fold over from top to bottom, and then just put a hole in the center, and you're going to put it on in two sections. The first piece you're going to put on, you're going to, use a watered down glue and put it very tightly around the skull. And then the second one you're going to just lay on top almost like a cape, and then it'll sort of have that very ghost-like look to it. So I'm going to show you this hanging in the other room so you can see what it looks like when it's actually hanging like an ornament. But that's how easy it is. So I hope you enjoyed the project, and please stop by for the next projects. So here's the doll hanging up in another room, and you can see it looks very nice. I'll show you the part. Here's the first piece that you put on, and you put it on and you kind of use a little bit of glue to sort of pull it together like this. And then the top piece you're going to glue to the top of the skull very tightly around the skull, and then that one's going to hang at the bottom.